Alright, in this video, I wanted to talk about some of the items that were released this past week. So you have the April Fool's event and the April Fool's limited time shop. And so the new item in the limited time shop, let's see here. So we have basically old weapons here. And then we have the shield here, Trickster's Visage. When it was released, I guess it was bugged to do too much. I'll show it in a second. But basically, that's the only item here. And I'll just show it off versus the Combat Practice Trainer because it does SP heals on dodge. And then it also does, similar to the Festive Shield, similar to the Festive Legionary Shield, it basically backlashes Panic on the other mode. So basically this is the Panic mode. I think the values are the exact same as that other shield. That in of itself is pretty good. And then we have the dodge heal to SP. Alright, so let's see what our SP is going to be. Phase will give me some here. Let's see. So we've got 880, and then let's get better dodging armor here. So I think when it was released, so this is hits versus misses. So basically, if all hits miss, you get the max. I think it released at 392, but then I guess that was deemed too much. It was bugged. 268, and then I just went to 428. So if you count the per turn regen plus any, it might have taken off. 268 to 428. It's not the greatest in the world. It's better than some of the stuff that exists today. Maybe in the future on a premium item they will do a per hit, sort of like the Nulgath shield or the Titan's Fall. Shield of Plenty, stuff like that. But I know that that is a contentious, basically it's a contentious issue amongst the balance extremists. So we'll basically see what happens for the future. So it's about a 160 in total. So I'm not sure if I'm getting a cost based on some of this stuff here or this guy, but it's not really a lot at the end of the day. I think the Panic mode is probably more valuable. If it did the 392, then I think it would make a lot of sense. I'm not sure what it's using to pay for this. I don't know if you're paying SP to heal SP, which would be weird, but that's that item. Now, in the actual quest, there was two new items, and I'll show both off right now. One is a MISK that basically eats the unlucky status and gives you a luck boost. So it's kind of like an extra step Rubzard pet. And so unlucky status is one of the worst statuses in the game. Back when luck used to do a little bit of BTH and blocking for the monster for yourself, doing unlucky was not bad. Luck steal is basically the best way to go. That's why using like Rubzard's not bad. But essentially, when unlucky on other sort of statuses, it's basically been pretty bad. Now this Ebbing Fortune weapon, which also, it was released last year during April Fool's limited time shop. You have to click this banner every turn. It doesn't stay active. And it'll do unlucky versus monsters in the event that you do a water spell. So I'm going to do a water spell here. It's not per hit, so it's basically hits, misses. If you land all your hits, you get them. Basically, you get the max effect. So I'm going to do this here. It actually missed both of them. So it looks like the effect still takes, but the hit-based shit doesn't take. So I had to forgot I had to re-click. That's the only bad thing about this weapon. This is a token weapon. It's not really worth it to get it, to be honest with you, but I just wanted to show this off. Alright, so we got a resistor here. Let's try again. Alright, so 95 luck for 4 rounds. So then what you do with the MISK is the sign of the trope. Basically, you're going to get 35 dexterity and 35 luck. And then what you do is you click it, and it can take a maximum of 648 luck, like it says there, unlucky, and then can give you up to 234 luck for 3 turns. Then it has a 3-turn cooldown. You can't do it over and over. And it's going to cost you 392 SP in order to do it also. And then it tells you how much luck you'll get. Like right now I get plus 103. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then as you can see, you get 103 luck for 3 turns. So Soul Neko has plus 50 luck built in, and then you can do Optico for 50, that's 350. So 103 is 453. So it doesn't really take much to get it to take, but it'll cause, if you're using like the whole phase Wanderer setup where you're using panic, then it's basically going to boost you there. So it's a little bit of a setup if you want to, if you want to use hyper crits and stuff like that. It'll take you some time. Now I'm going to also, this time I'm going to add Summon Rubzard to this, just to add a little bit of extra here. So let's see if we can get Unlucky added. So 72.1, and then Rubzard changed it to 93. Then it dropped to 3 rounds. So I'm going to do this one more time. Hopefully it'll land. So now I'm up to 141, and then Rubzard made it 183. So now we're down to 3 rounds. So now let's go ahead and use the MISK. It says I'm supposed to get 199, so 198. Then Rubzard dropped it to 169. But these stats cap at 500, so that's fine. So if with Soul Neko, for example, if I've already got 350 and I have 169, I'm basically at 500 luck. So that's how this MISK works. But I wanted to show off, this may end up getting fixed once this gets reported, but I'll show it off for right now with Unlucky. So all I'm going to do here is just use this Cozy Goblin. It's from one of the Frostville quests. I think it's like the sweater zombie one. I forget the year. But basically, you want it to, on the attack where it says hatred towards the holidays, it actually will do Unlucky also. And then you have your Rupzard. I tested this out with the Rupzard pet, and it bugs out and it removes the stack that I'm about to show you. But this guy doesn't. What this guy will do will actually add a full turn to the stack without degrading the whole thing. So let's go ahead and do Ancestral Forbiddance. So we're going to have 76, and then he increases it to 96. Actually didn't take. I forgot to reactivate the fucking thing. Let's see. 124. I think he's on the opposite mode. Let's see here. I think some items are like, you click it and it's not the mode that it says. It's the other mode. So, alright, 124, 166. Alright, so as you can see there, I didn't lose any rounds. So I'm just going to attack. So what's going to happen is Rupzard will increase it, and then Cozy Goblin will ensure that the rounds stay. So 207. And then, so it's going to sit there and stay at 208 forever, basically. As long as he lands and it inflicts. $249 and it sticks. $249. So that's what Cozy Goblin's able to do. If you already have an unlucky here, it will actually add a round. So here on Celerity, I'll even show it off here. So what you're going to find out is, so Rupzard will go twice. It'll increase unlucky both times. Forgot player Celerity. And then, as you'll see, unlucky will increase, and then increase 374, and then he'll actually increase your rounds. And then you can bring in and then in this case it was 182 luck. So this is no other boosts, but basically you're going to get capped luck here. 500 luck, plus Foam Finger, plus Neko Cataclysm. Let's just see what kind of heal that Phase can do here. 1506 on the Lucky Strike, because it's basically double on the Lucky Strike part. So just to kind of show you how you would use it, if you had some hyper crit type shenanigans, you can transfer it unlucky into basically more luck damage. So the MISK isn't too bad. It's kind of geared towards Rangers since it has a dexterity focus, but again, the MISK is not bad. I think if they were to release more unlucky stuff to really boost unlucky, like if you had something that could do like 200 unlucky for like 3 turns or something, then in one turn, and then the next turn eat it all, that's where it would I think really shine. Now on to my favorite item from the week. Basically there's an MP and SP version. The SP version is Strength Inflict if you wield a melee weapon. Otherwise, it is Dex Inflict. And then the MP version is Intelligence. Basically, it's a status bomb. So I was showing you the Ancestral Forbiddance. Well, this is basically the same thing. But instead of choke and burn, in this case, it's panic and burn. So basically, similar, but just fire. And it's called Word Flame. It also has the 2 token hits as well. So in this case, the burn didn't inflict, but on the panic, it is a -10 to save, and it is a basically versus charisma. So if you're using something like Seeing Red or Jania's Orb of Power spell to boost panic stacking, this basically just replaced it. If you don't, especially if you don't care about the damage part. But the fire burn's pretty good. 5.5 power for 5 rounds. That's perfect for Soul Neko. And especially if you're using like Phase Wanderer, which a lot of Beastmasters do. So as you can see, my panic stack is down to under 1. So the monster's just not going to do any damage to me. But what I'm able to do is actually use something else, like Rubzard, for example. And then let's just do this. So we already have a 58 panic. Looks like that maybe the first hit is the panic inflict and the second hit might be the burn inflict. So that's why we're not seeing the burn inflict, it looks like. So that second hit needs to land in order for you to get the burn. This is a high blocking monster, so I'm trying to see. There we go. So the burn just inflicted. Like I said, 5.5 power for 5 rounds is pretty strong. So Soul Neko Burn Eat will seek between earth and light on this version here. And then we'll go ahead and just eat it. Pretty decent damage, not too bad. This is probably my favorite spell in the game. I just really enjoy these types of things, status bombs. There we go, 58 panic and 5.5 power burn. And then like I said, if you wanted to next turn, you could just eat it. Not bad damage. And that's a free spell. What I've been doing is this right here. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. So, since I locked out my fucking weapon, let me show you what I've been doing. So I get panic and burn out of this. So what I've been doing here is actually doing chaotic Lucerda Staff, and then if both hits land, you'll get enough poison to use Void Forge, but then you also have enough burn to basically you can use Edge of the End, or so I'm going to go ahead and use the Vanity, which is the dev ticket version of Void Forge, and then War of God's Hope. Edge of the End is the other one. This is the light version. This just was one of the war rewards that just took place. And then this is basically a weapon-based skill, and it's going to be Void. And as you can see, it's just Void damage, and it's 6 hits. So basically, you're getting to fuel defense, you're getting to fuel phase, and you're getting to fuel more damage via Void, just in one fell swoop. And so that's what I've been personally doing with it. It's super simple. You don't even have to do celerity. Just hit this as long as it lands. Get enough panic to feel some good healing. Bring this back, click, eat, click, dead monster. And so you can also use, I can't remember the name of the weapon, if you wanted to eat the panic instead of the burn. Let me see here. It's that fire weapon. It is, can't remember. Royal Void Charge, I believe is it. And then you could also use the Heroic Titan's Herald, which will stack with the burn, beginning the second spell. There's a bunch of things you can do. And so I think that for those that like to panic stack, I mean, you can really drive panic down and just rely on your burns. I mean, just to show you an example of how quickly panic can drop, I'm going to hop into Typhon Shard, make sure my panic and then you can do either this for potence, which we can do, or we could do like Legionary Shield, or like we have the new Trickster's Shield. We're going to use Aqua Warcaster Staff. We're going to use double Creature 72. And then I'm going to get out of this so that way darkness is hopefully not the lowest, but also not fire, so that'll work there. And then I didn't get a chance to do the MISK, but there's the new fire MISK. But what we'll do here is we'll just do this. This is how much panic we can get. Already down to 201, 176. The Burning Heart Amulet works. This was also changed to work with any attack or spell cast. It no longer just works with fire attacks. So a second cast, let's see what this ends up becoming. It's under 1%. Basically down to 0.03%. At this point, that's just insane. 0.02, 0.02, 0.01, 0.015. And that just goes to show you how quickly so this monster's never going to get out of this, especially if you keep the shield here. I mean, we're already at 15 instances. So, a very good spell, my favorite spell in the game at this point. I just want to show off the April Fool's items that came out. This upcoming week, it's just a house release. Pretty lame release, but maybe in a couple weeks I'll do another video.